Namaste everyone. Namaskar. Anyone wants to say anything or any question, doubts? Yes, Wayne.
Hi Sanjay.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm a bit nervous, right? I just had like an experience and a question probably mixed in together. Um, so putting the body, the mind, thoughts and emotions aside for a second, um, all my life I've had this feeling of like deep down, like an innocence of like a child, like a kindness that runs deep. So no matter the emotion, what the body's doing, mind, thoughts, and all everything that's going on around the place, there's still something that doesn't move anywhere. It's like real deep down. There's like best way to explain like an innocence of a child or the kindness that you just can't give enough. Sort of, it just. I was just hoping that I could feel good about it. That's all.
Wayne, can you speak a bit loud? Because the voice is very feeble. Just a bit
Sorry.
maybe increase your volume. Okay, I can repeat what you said. What I understood was that in spite of a mind, body, emotions, everything which is going on externally, you still have a deep rooted this childlike innocence and kindness which you can feel all the time. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so yeah, and they
Mm.
broke up a little bit, Sandra.
I think it's a bit better, but I think maybe just the internet connection. But yeah, keep going. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one, Sanjay. So it's like everything else aside, it's like deep down, it's like an innocence of a child, like the kindness of a child, sort of. No matter what emotions, body's doing, thoughts coming and going, and all that sort of stuff, putting that out for a second, it's still the same.
Yep.
Like it doesn't move. I just wanted to talk to you about that because I've felt it all my life. It hasn't gone like an experience. Like there's nothing that I've seen, done, whatever. I haven't read anything or anything like that. I don't know much about anything really. Um, but just know this underlying sense or feeling like even the hard exterior of a body, there's underneath is like this innocence of a child or really kindness that no matter what happens, it's still always there.
Mm. Yeah. And this humbleness, this purity, which sometimes when egoistic tendencies wants us to do something wrong, there's like something is watching um,
That feels,
which makes you feel not to do those things, and you sometimes pull out.
yeah.
But we all
So,
have, because this energy of pure awareness, you can call it self, Brahman, Atman. Everyone has this.
yeah,
So it all depends how much you uh, get influenced by ego, how much these egoistic tendencies to achieve, to gain, to acquire, to know, to like, to dislike, pulls us out from that energy. People who are more simple, humble, their life is not complicated. For them, it is very easy to understand this. People who are into hundreds of things, to come back to this. And it's not about the work we do. A person can be doing so many things, but is still internally uninvolved. And then there can be a person not doing any job for last 30 years and having racing thoughts in all directions. So, very easy understanding is whatever actions happening with the body, you stay in that childlike innocence, which you can call awareness, which is just accepting things as they are. And if we stay in that, we attain that non-doership of every action. We don't feel that I am doing, I have to do, I am suffering, I am achieving. This individual ownership of the body disappears if you stay in that. And it is such a profound change, and it hardly takes any efforts. But to understand this level and to experience takes all effort. Once we are there, then there is no effort needed. This morning, someone called me and was telling me her experience of awareness. And she was talking about the bodily experience of awareness, like having tingling, feeling a vibration all the time, vibration sometimes traveling, sometimes just that, and so many times not even feeling that there is a body and feeling so lighter, and then feeling that the body's odor has gone away and it is odorless, or sometimes fragrance is there, and like some feeling of a blissful energy inside, always, without any reason, feeling very contented. And she's a research scientist in Melbourne, and she said, in spite of whatever happening with the research or getting grants or not, but that energy just is so beautiful. So she was wondering whether this all is weird thoughts or is any disease, like MS, multiple sclerosis can give rise to numbness. But look, the thing is that all of us experience this when we go through it, this vibration, this energy, when it unfolds in the body, it causes all this sensory symptoms, change in digestion. You feel much more lighter. And this lightness, I always say, is because there's no weight of ego. Ego carries all the weight, though it doesn't appear, but it creates a lot of baggage on us and heaviness. That's why so many people get headaches, because of a constant thought going on. We should understand that we don't have a story as awareness or Atman. It is an uninvolved state which is watching the body doing, body suffering, or body going through different situations. And more we stay in that awareness zone, our identity with the body drops. You don't have to say anything, but internally you have no interest in bodily recognition of any kind. Though still you might get recognized, you might receive Order of Australia or Nobel Prize, I don't know, but whether you get it or not doesn't make any difference to your own blissful state, So I would say this is so beautiful. You just nurture that child within you, and the child will outgrow this egoistic, thoughtful tendencies. And yeah, it looks like they coexist. They both are there, but it depends whom you nurture more, whom you pay attention to, whom you are more interested in. And more interest keeps it more manifesting. Yeah, I think that's very good, Wayne. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sanjay.
Thank you. Jeff, you want to say something?
Yes. Hello, Satsang. Hello, Sanjay.
Hello. Do you want to open your video?
Is it okay if I just leave my picture on right now? I don't have my phone propped up.
That's okay.
It's kind of dark here. I'm in New Jersey. It's nighttime or morning time.
Okay.
But I just wanted to share something. Maybe I'm looking for some reassurance. I'm not sure. But this path of Ramana Maharshi came into my life a little over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
After some heavy experiences in my life of being addicted to drugs and in pain and chronic illness, and there was a lot of effort. It seemed like there was a lot of effort being made in the beginning with the self-inquiry, and it did seem like there was a lot of progress being made, a lot of peace, a lot of oneness, a lot of desire fell away. The world seemed different. And then the end of last year, a few months ago, I ended up relapsing on heroin. And in a very short time, it got very serious. It seemed like there was no willpower to not do it. There was no willpower to do anything. And it's clear that there was an issue of surrender that needed to be looked at. The other part of this path being surrender.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I've been at with it lately. But since relapsing on the heroin, I had to go back on methadone because I had overdosed a few times. It got really heavy really fast, and I thought maybe that was the best option in order to preserve this body and this life. Maybe to take this short-term solution of methadone, which I had bid on previously for quite a while, and then the last year I didn't have it at all, which was good because I was able to really do some serious self-inquiry work. But here I am now, a year and a half later after starting this path, and I find myself on methadone. And I came into this path, like I said, after a lifetime of drug use and chronic illness, and I smoke weed for pain for the most part, and I just always have felt weird about it. Am I doing, do I need to try to make an extra effort to get off these substances? Because I understand this is a path of non-renunciation, and it doesn't seem like there's even any power in me to renunciate anything anymore. It doesn't seem like there's any power in me to make an effort to do self-inquiry or surrender. It just kind of happens all the time. And I've heard that the only way to chart your progress or to show any progress with this is persistence in the path and with self-inquiry. And that's definitely still been happening. So I guess I was just looking for some reassurance, with where I'm at with this whole thing. I don't know if you could share anything on that, but.
Look, I really appreciate that when someone thinks that I can't do anything, it can mean two things. Surrender is definitely a big thing, in which also we feel that I can't do and he will do it for me, and we just bow down. But then we also give up everything. Then we are not craving for anything. If we are not craving to know that, or be liberated, we are also not craving for any substance or any enjoyment or anything, any bodily thing which is involving us at ego level for any sensory pleasures of any kind. I understand habits are like that. Habits, we call habits because it becomes a habit to do those things again and again. Whether they give you us reward or punishment doesn't matter, but it becomes a habit. And to break habit, you have to be in that awareness, in that awakening. And in self-inquiry, if you see someone who is having a habit, are you that person who is having a habit? If you ask this question deep enough, it will take you to your own bliss, to that silence. And once you touch that, you become more awake. So in a way, this awakening can be a gradual process, but the one who is, let's say, addicted to a drug is not you. It is just a habit of the body, and the mind is saying it is something you need and I can't get rid of it and I don't have energy to get rid of it. This is all game of only thoughts at the ego level. It has nothing to do with liberation or opening as awareness. So we have to be very, very careful when we talk about surrender, because surrender can be thought from the mind level that I have surrendered and he will do it. And then what? Then I am just indulging in everything. And then I have surrendered to God. One day he will liberate me. It doesn't work like that. When we surrender all our intentions, desires, likes, dislikes, everything we surrender. So after surrender, what is left is nothing. No action of ourselves, no desire, no likes, no dislikes, nothing. And in that shunya, in that emptiness, the mind just merges in that purity of awareness. Because there is no doership. So we have to be very careful when we take the path of surrender. Then we can't say, now I will continue doing my habits, but I have surrendered that my ultimate liberation to that pure energy. We surrender everything. We surrender. We don't keep anything of personal intention anymore. And then what happens is that energy takes over. It can happen, and it has happened in a lot of people who are suffering from severe pain, suffering from terminal illness, even addictions. Suddenly you realize, who is this? Who is into this? I am not this. And if you deeply ask this question, it takes you to the silence immediately. And moment you gain that profound bliss by this deep searching, the whole addiction and the journey ends very quickly. It can happen so quick, in a flash, because you don't want to be in addiction mode. You don't want to be coming into relapses and remissions. You want to be free. And suddenly when you get into this deep-seated energy, everything just disappears. And then who wants to come back? No, nothing. You just disappear in that awareness. Then who is Jeff? Who was taking? Who is relapsing? No. All is just an illusion. It is just eyes showing a vision of a body, form, a situation happening. In Sanskrit, they call different types of words as loka. And it comes from the word to look, you can say like that, which can be seen through eyes. Look, I think, comes from the same, maybe, loka. And all what we see is just an illusion of the mind showing us in this world, this everything. A body, a situation, some addiction, no addiction, whatever happening. This all is completely false. Who is doing? Ask this question, who is into it? And you will realize there is no one. You are not that. No one is not that. No one is the form. Silence is the only way to sort out this mystery. Not thoughts, not fighting, not arguing, not analyzing thoughts. They are useless. Answer comes in pure silence. Whatever path people take, but ultimately you reach that silence within your heart, where you realize that I am nothing. This body is on some auto mode. Things just happens, and it's the same all around. Practice, practice, practice. Perseverance and patience, because this energy is with all of us. Be with this energy. In this energy, there is no I thought. There is no doership. Whenever the thought comes and asks you, I should do this, and then I have to do this, and then and this, you just stay as awareness, as a witness to all this happening, and you will realize that, yes, I am none of these thoughts. I am not the body. And these thoughts are not, I don't know who was owning these thoughts. They just come and go. And it brings so much of lightness in us, because all this weight is of these thoughts, which makes us slave, because we think these are my thoughts. I have to follow through. Maybe I need to obey them or get rid of them, or something I should do with these thoughts, because only I am listening to these thoughts. No one else is listening to these thoughts. You know, when a child is small, in child psychology they say that the child thinks that all thoughts coming to him, everyone is listening, everyone is having the same thought. He gets ashamed because he thinks if it's a bad thought, everyone is. But then he realizes soon, no, these thoughts are only to me, nobody knows it. And here comes the birth of ego. That I am separate, that I have a personal life, private life. This personal life comes from personality, persona. Persona means mask, which divides us and creates suffering. In a way, it is our choice to be out of it, not getting involved in any of these thoughts, whatever they tell us. Watching everything as you are watching cars standing on the side of a road. You're not interested what color, they're just passing through. You're just watching but not watching, something like this. Same way, thoughts coming, going, no ownership. What will happen? There's no receiving end to these thoughts, no ego. What will happen? They will disappear. Nothing will be left. So then what happens is, as any event happens, you look like interested in it, you might be involved in it, you might do the best whatever possible. As soon as the event finishes, you are back in that neutral, impartial awareness. No mental impressions, because you are not paying any attention to thoughts, ownership of thoughts. So zero impressions coming to you. You are out of karma. Whether you have done really hard work in that situation to help others or whatever, you are not having any good or bad karma. You are just being aware of the body's doing. No doership. Happiness and bliss is because of no doership, not because of doing good work or bad work. Now you know the truth. that all what we see is just happening. And all what you see is your own creation in a way. It is coming through you only. All the people, all things, everything is coming through you. Rather coming through your mind, this body and others. And then you see that profound understanding develops, that awareness is what is behind all this show. I am that awareness. I am that pure intelligence. That pure intelligence is not hungry, does not need clothes, shelter, insurance, job, nothing. And it is the source of everything, yet uninvolved. All these images are coming, going, changing. You are that stillness in which everything is happening. You are not a person. If you are not a person, then personal habits are not your habits. They are just happening to something because of conditioning. Even this understanding will free you from everything. Don't slip back into the ego mode or a person. And I'll tell you, one has to not leave anything, addiction or anything or habits. They just go away. Because there is no seeking pleasure. Because this is that supreme bliss, pleasure, which is always there with you. You see, most of the time, all our actions are to seek some pleasure out of it, isn't it? For the bodily pleasures. Even the good work we do, it gives us some happiness, pleasure. There was this person I met recently. He said, I do good work. I do really good work. I said, okay, that's good. And I said, what happens after good work? He says, I feel happy when I do good work. That means he's otherwise unhappy. Understand this truth. Whatever we do, we'll do for happiness. As if happiness is external to us. As we have to do something to gain that happiness. For someone, taking a drug can be addiction. For other person, good work is an addiction. They both are seeking happiness or pleasure out of it. Why don't we fix ourselves first? Let us be that happiness, that true happiness in our heart. Let's look within and find that and be with that and practice to be that and practice and practice and practice. Day and night and all the time. In this worldly life, you see people have achieved gold medals in Olympics and games and all. What they do? Practice, 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 practice. What is japa? Japa is also like a practice, practice, practice. Paying attention to awareness, practice, not slipping into ego mode. And the people around us are good tests. They keep checking us. The moment we go into ego mode, we feel suffering. Someone said something, we immediately slip into ego mode. Keep practicing, keep practicing. We are in this illusion for so long that we have to practice to be out of illusion, which is a bit funny thing. But if someone understands and deeply understands, and then it can be just a moment of a fraction of a second to be free. But if you keep slipping into that old habits of ego, then you have to practice self-inquiry, self-attention, some practice is needed. In reality, we all are free. No one is in bondage. No one. All human beings are free internally. If they don't know it, because they are not looking there. This Maya, this illusion, this word, this conditioning is making us busy all the time. What most of the people are doing, they are doing a job to earn money, and then what they do with that money to please this body, and then it's the end game. Nothing is important in this world. Or you can say everything is important and auspicious. Everything is same. Inside your heart, this pure awareness, this energy, which is you, what it is giving you, everything. The moment you know it, then everything becomes auspicious. An insect crawling, a fly, a bird, a flower, a table, a chair. Because the substrata is me as awareness, me as Brahman. And it is so difficult for people to understand this truth, that this awareness is everything. And that awareness is whoever is thinking I am the body, is that awareness. When we dream at night, who creates the dream? Who creates those people? Who creates a body? Only our manomaya kosha, mind. Then this thul sharir, this body, comes into being in awake state. Then that mind again creates this whole thing. But we don't question it. The moment we question it, we are free. That energy is so compassionate. It gives us clue every night when we sleep. It also gives us another clue. Some people might not be interested to know the truth, and they love to be in this illusion. They are enjoying. So it gives another clue that there is a dream state. In dream state, in Swapan, there is a body and then there are other bodies. So that gives us that even if this body is dead, which is lying still when you're dreaming, you get another subtle body. So there is no death as such. So you can be happy about. And then it takes you to deep sleep, where you lose all identity and you are in bliss. That gives us hint that all identification is the reason for suffering. I am father, I am husband, I am son, I am employer, I am employee, I am this profession, I belong to this country. We have hundreds and hundreds of identification. But before that, this identification that I am the body is the first. So question that. Whenever this thought comes, I have to do this, you just watch it. You are just being aware of this thought, dissolves this thought, takes you to the source. And this practice should be all the time. As Jesus said, be like a child to enter the kingdom of God. So this is what Jeff was saying. I think Wayne was saying that childlike innocence, be with that all the time. You see child, they play, they do something, they also have fight. But then they forget. As soon as those things goes away, they forget. That's why we know this trick how to involve kids when they are asking for something. We divert their attention in something else and then they become happy. Sometimes parents lie to kids about something, I'll take you this and I'll do this, and they stop crying. They don't hold any grudges because the ego is still not developing. If you do something like this with an adult, that adult will never forgive you. That I was asking this, you told me this, and that was never there. They will never talk to you next 20, 30 years. All ego. They're not like childlike, Be childlike. Just give up that ego. Who can insult you? Nobody even knows who you are. How can they insult you? And it's good they insult your body, because if you feel bad, that means you still have ego. They are sent by God to check your ego. Take them as God, messengers of God. They're all helping us. Life in this body will continue as long as it's being timed. We give credit to our good habits, good food, exercise, walking, whatever. But we still see people doing all the right things still suddenly pass away. And some people having all sorts of vices, they live till 99, 100, So, who decides these things? Be in that pure awareness. This awareness is Arunachala Ramana, nothing else. Arunachala Ramana. If you call it Arunachala, you call it Ramana, you call it Arunachala Ramana, it will take you to the source. If you say with devotion, with humbleness, with surrender, it will take you there only. When Bhagavan had his terminal illness, people were crying and they thought he will leave. One of his devotees said the same, and he was quite a senior, mature devotee. He said, even you think I am this body? That was Bhagavan's reply. Do you think I am this body? He is in everyone's heart. He recognized that he is that which is in our heart. So if you call that energy as Arunachala Ramana, you are not calling anything symbolically. He is that. He is the truth in all of us. And not him, but others also who have found their inner bliss. All of them are the same, and we all are also the same. Whoever is just there. Whatever happened in your life is not your story, it is the story of the body. And then there might be some future of the body. When we attain silence within our own self, that is what it is, nothing else. Experiences are not that important. Some people get a lot of experiences, some don't get any experiences. When you stop living in the jungle of these thoughts, then you are liberated. When you are just a wave at the surface of ocean, there is so much of noise, sound. You go deeper into the ocean, it becomes calmer and calmer. No activity there. It appears as if you're very, very settled and contented without even getting anything new. Even after losing money, losing health, losing friends, you feel bliss. You are contented. You are peaceful. You're not looking for anything. Where you become desireless. Understand, every desire means you are unhappy. I know for some people it's a big call. And they might not agree with me. I'm not there to make people agree what I say. But desirelessness is wisdom. Long wish list to do this will keep you on your toes. Even if there is an event or activity needs to happen and you are involved, let's say it doesn't happen, there should not be even an iota of difference in your bliss and peace. That is the test that you are free. Take your freedom as of utmost importance, more important than any work you are doing, even if you think it's a God's work. Don't do it if it makes you unhappy. In Bhagavan times, people came to ashram and some of them came just to tell him that the way the ashram is running is not right. Or they came and then after some time they started complaining about things. And Bhagavan was such a humble person. He used to say after they have left sometimes, that rather than fixing themselves, they are trying to fix these buildings. To get out of politics and whatever was happening, there was next to ashram was an area, Palaikot, where people used to stay, and Bhagavan used to encourage to stay there. All the sincere seekers used to stay there outside ashram. Then they don't have to do any ashram work and they can come and sit with Bhagavan in his hall. Allow this pure energy to eat away you, finish from internal, inside, everything. Wipes off your memory of a person. People say forget and forgive if someone has hurt you or you have hurt. I would say when this memory is wiped off, this ego is gone, then who will forget and who will forgive? Who has done it? No doer. The moment we find that pure awareness in us, we realize that everyone is so pure. Everyone is that ultimate purity. No one is a sinner. No one is a devil. And everything is just one awareness coming in different forms. Let's pray together that everyone who is searching for the divine, pure self will attain that pure self. Pure self is full of compassion. It is giving everything. Whatever people want from their mind, from their ego, it is the wish filling source. And if you want just to be in that, it is also waiting for you to embrace. We don't have energy. We are not qualified enough to be there. We are all ignorant fools doing things what the mind is telling, conditioned. You can say we are on a wrong path or have mistaken identity, but that is full of compassion. By mistake, we think I am this body, moving around alone, fearful of death of the body, as if this is the end of my life, and doing all sorts of things for this body which will be dust one day. How foolish I am. Doing things, building houses, as if I will live eternally in that house. And investing in all relationships as if these relationships are lifelong, eternally. Everything is transient, moving, changing, like a dream. Love everyone equally, but don't be attached to anything. Give up this I thought, which is the primal source of attachment. Know in truth that I am, that pure self, unmoving stillness within me, which is everywhere. It's like a vibration, it's a very subtle energy. More we say about it, more we confuse others. It is something to live in, not talking about it. Pay attention on your heart. We are this pure awareness, unmoving, blissful. And when we pray together with the best intention for all human beings and all beings and everything, these prayers are always heard. Why? Because if prayers, selfish prayers can be heard, why not a humble prayer for everyone to be free? I love you everyone, most purest beings together. And that is what satsang is. Company of truth, company of pure beings, all pure beings. All of us same, without any difference. All differences are illusory, of no significance. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.